that was actually about my house and someone wanting to represent me as my realtor. Hey y'all, it's Tiffany D. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. I wanted to speak on this for some time now. I think this would be the most appropriate time to talk about it. The joys of homeownership. I currently just hit year 3 as of this month, and we're in January 2026, year 3, and I just kind of want to share my experience and how it's been. So currently, my house is on the market. It's back on the market. Initially, when I bought it, it was actually in a seller's market. I thought I got a great deal. Looking back, what I paid was still more than what the home was worth. Hindsight is 2020. There are a multitude of things that have happened in the past 3 years, which is why the house is currently on the market. I love my home. It's beautiful. It's a goal that I set out for myself many years ago to purchase a home. And I did that all on my own. Of course, with the help of God and the support from my loved ones, I was able to purchase my home, started the process at the end of 2022 and closed in January of 2023. And from start to finish, from me finding the home to under contract to pending to closing was less than a month. Like, it was a very speedy process because I kind of had all my ducks in a row, and I actually started looking, like just kind of browsing that summer of 2022. I accomplished a goal, bought a home before I turned 30 years old. Extremely proud of myself. Was in the house for about 10 months, 9-10 months. When I bought my home, I had actually just started a new job. I had been in the job for about maybe like a month and a half at this point. My income was still consistent with what I had been making in my previous role, so there was no issue there. I really don't do any frivolous spending. I travel a lot, however, I travel on a budget. I'm not an excessive spender when it comes to travel. I usually fly on deals when it's typically out of season to go to those places. When it's really cold, I will go somewhere because I'm still going regardless of the time of year. I'm still going, so that's how I see it. About 10 months in of living in the home and, me being in this new job, I ended up getting laid off, unfortunately. This has been like a recurring theme for a lot of people right now. Unfortunately, the market is just awful when it comes to jobs, when it comes to houses. The state of the world is it's very uncertain, I'll say that. I had been applying out relentlessly. I got notice that it was going to happen at the end of October, but my last day of the job was mid-December. They gave us advance notice. I know a lot of others aren't given that courtesy, so it's not news you wanted to hear. At least we weren't blindsided. About 40% of my department was also let go. It's really unfortunate, but my discernment is very strong, and I knew that I was the newest on the team with the least amount of tenure, and most of my peers had been with the company for, I think the person that had the least amount of years with the company was about 5 years. So I'm like, I'm fresh, I'm just coming in, the writing's on the wall. If my discernment is telling me something, I don't ignore it. I just kind of kept that in my back pocket, in the back of my mind, like, okay, they're telling us that, everything's okay, but the writing's on the wall. Back to December, get let go. It's the holidays. Warning that they told us in October, it helped because at that point I'm like, okay, it's giving me time to start applying out, getting my ducks in a row, making sure that I'm, putting away, not really spending excessively, although I don't, but, just given that news, making sure that I am conducting myself responsibly when it comes to my finances, which I think I do a great job at already. In December, I did start receiving unemployment, and during that time, just applying out. I don't know how many, I couldn't tell you guys how many jobs I applied to daily. I have an Excel spreadsheet that I created to keep track of all the roles that I applied to, whether I'd heard back, whether I'd had interviews. Hello. Yes, I'm still working with my realtor at this time. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. That was actually about my house and someone wanting to represent me as my realtor. Where was I? Spreadsheet. Overwhelming to even look at. From when I applied, what company, how long it took to hear back, whether I got an interview, follow-ups, all of that. Like rejections, everything was on there. And it became overwhelming. I'd say it was about January or so. I'm like, okay, I'm still, I'm still doing, I'm okay, I'm sustaining. I did forget to add, they gave everyone that got let go a package. Come January, one of my friends, she reaches out to me. And so we are in January 2024. She's like, hey, like, I know that you experienced the layoff, looking for a job. However, here's a flight deal. My friend and I, one thing that we're gonna do is find a travel deal, a flight deal, and we're gonna go and we are going to make it the best, most cost-effective trip and still enjoy ourselves. So she sent over a flight to Spain. It was like super inexpensive. I'm like, okay, great, like thank you. So I'm looking into it and I had asked her if she was familiar with another city in Spain. So I think she'd sent over like Madrid. I asked her about Barcelona and she looked into Barcelona and that was also discounted as well. The flight was in 2 months, so it was in March. When I tell you this deal was unbeatable, it was round trip for about a week and we'll just say it was less than $350 for a round trip flight from Dallas, Texas to Barcelona, Spain. You can't beat that. You can't. So I said, why not? Like, that is affordable. The flight, we split the hotel. I'm project planner, so I created the itinerary for the trip. All the activities, monuments or excursions or things that people typically do out there, I made sure to book those, pay for those well in advance, kind of route everything out. My friend picked the hotel and she did an amazing job with choosing because it was a centralized location smack dab in the middle of the city. So we were literally within walking distance from just about everything, from the beach to a bunch of shopping areas to restaurants. It was like a prime location. So we were there for about a week. It was great. While I'm there, we get back to the hotel. I just want to clear my mind. I want to enjoy myself. I don't have to worry about PTO right now. I can fully immerse myself and enjoy, and I needed that, Didn't think about, the jobs. I was hoping that someone would have called me back while I was out there, but it didn't happen. But I enjoyed myself out there nonetheless. Come back, I get reached out to by a couple of recruiters for screenings and interviews. So I'm like, great. I want to say the following week that we came back, I had 3 interviews scheduled. No, it was 4 interviews scheduled, but 3 happened to be on the same day. The first day, it was just the one. The second day, it was 3, back to back to back. Long story short, I ended up getting one of these jobs, and it was the last job that I had the interview for on the day that I had 3. I was ecstatic that I secured a job. Coming back from vacation and then landing a job, just feels great. 2, technically I was laid off in December and I had been applying like crazy and interviewing like crazy for 2-3 months at this point. I get an offer in March to start in April. A delay is not denial. It took me 3 months. I'm heavily on LinkedIn and I see a lot of people, unfortunately, have been laid off or unemployed from a layoff for months on end, 6, 7, 8, even 18 months with no prospects, like applying, interviewing, and then getting ghosted or rejected or just not really hearing anything back. So I was very blessed to be able to have gotten a job in the timing that I did. I see that I am going on a tangent because this was supposed to be about being a homeowner. And how did we get on the topic of layoffs, traveling, securing a new job? Everything is high. Everything is uncertain. Property taxes, homeowners insurance, the uncertainty of the world. People are getting laid off left and right. Like I said, I am heavily on LinkedIn and I feel like every day I log on, it's like some company is doing massive layoffs and people have lives. People have families. Just given my previous experience with being laid off, I was blessed. I was blessed to be able to have been notified in advance that I would be getting laid off, even though I was initially told that, my team that we were, it shouldn't come down to us. We shouldn't be affected. And we were. It still wasn't like the worst situation in the world because of the advance notice. So we had time to prepare. And I don't know if that much has changed, but this market is scary. Like, it truly is scary. So many things are just uncertain. I'm a heavy YouTube watcher. Like, I love long form content, and all of my algorithm as of lately are people that are trying to sell their homes and have been for extended periods of time, and their homes are just sitting on the market. So they're having to continue to drop the pricing of their home, and they're losing. They're upside down in in what they owe. It's just, right now is not the greatest time to be a homeowner. Unfortunately, it is a blessing to even be able to purchase a home, but with everything going up, and for those that are in Texas that are homeowners, you know that the property taxes out here are ridiculous. The homeowner's insurance, I don't know how many times I've shopped around to see what else is out there, but skyrocketing. In my neighborhood alone, there are about 300 or so homes that are actually for sale, that are on the market. Within the last 30 days, 94 homes in my vicinity had been placed on the market. That's scary. That is so unsettling. My current company relocated all of our offices to one centralized location. Previously, when I bought the home, I was with the company that I got laid off from. When I was with that company, I was completely remote. So it really didn't matter where I lived, as long as I was within a certain distance in the event that we needed to come into the office for a meeting or a all hands or something like that. Where I bought my home is literally in the middle of nowhere. It's the suburbs, but it's very underdeveloped, so there really isn't a lot to do out there. There are schools. The closest grocery store was about 25 minutes away. It's nice if you want the slow, it's more family oriented. It's a lot of kids. I feel like we may have been one of the only homes on our street that didn't have any children. Back to why I'm selling. My company relocated all of the offices in my city to one centralized location. So about 7, 8 sites into one. The commute was about an hour and a half one way for me. So for me, the way I'm thinking about it is, okay, if I have this commute, I am wanting to get in as early as possible to avoid that early morning rush hour traffic. And I want to leave my office before the crazy 5 o'clock rush hour traffic starts. So I'm okay, I'm gonna get into the office at 6. I'm gonna leave by 3. All's gonna be well. In order to be in the office by 6, I'm waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, taking out my dog to use the bathroom, showering, I'm getting ready. I typically do all of my prep, my lunch, and put on my clothes the night before. And then I would leave for work. I would leave the house. That was right about 4:45-ish, give or take. And by the time I get to the office, I'm my blood pressure is boiling because I'm trying to dodge people, and people drive super crazy super early in the morning. I did not expect it. I am leaving at 3. I'm still stuck in traffic. It took me almost 2 hours to get home. Imagine if I was doing the standard 8 to 5, 9 to 5. It's been reality, and that's far. So my house is currently on the market, and I'm hoping that it gets sold soon. And like I said, watching all of the YouTube videos, the compilation videos of so many people that's homes have been on the market for 5, 6, 7 months, I'm my goodness, I don't know. But this market is crazy. And a lot of people say, why would you rent if, you could just buy a home, and buying a home would be cheaper because you own it. I used to yell that from the mountaintops, and now more than ever, I wished I had I wouldn't say I had waited, but I wish I had purchased a home in an area that wasn't in the middle of nowhere, closer to civilization, closer to where many of the jobs are, more centralized location, even though that would have been more. Hindsight is always 20/20, and you live and you learn. So, but yeah, that's where I'm at. Homeownership is expensive. Location is very important. Just be wise when it comes to that process, and also make sure that you have a realtor that is working for you, that is honest and upfront and forthcoming, one that actually wants to help you sell the home. My experience of being a homeowner, I know I added in a whole bunch that I really didn't expect to talk about, but here we are. If you're still watching to the end of the video, thank you. I appreciate you as always. If you're new, welcome. And if you like this content, go ahead and like, share, subscribe, and check out all my other videos that I have, because I really just be talking about everything, all the things, all at once. I'm also neurodivergent, so if you can relate or see the signs and you also experience the same, then you're in the right place. So welcome. Till next time. Bye.